You go, ROO ROO! We're gonna take this one to Mama Eyefish. Good morning, folks. Even though I don't know if 10:20 is still a morning, I guess it's late morning, but we've had a cold patch of weather here in Tennessee. Up to 9 o'clock, the temps were below freezing. I don't feel comfortable going down on the ramp when the temps are below freezing. My truck is rear wheel drive only. It has never slipped, even on the algae, but I'm just not comfortable anymore with these things. Plus it's too cold. So I waited it out. When the temps went over like 35, then I show up, and if I fish only 3 hours, so be it. So we're gonna try to find the white bass today. That's the goal. We have a lot of goals today. We're gonna be testing all kinds of equipment. First of all, this is the new 2024 Daiwa Luvias. Maybe let me take a thumbnail here. 2000 size. It is on a super ultralight rod. Not my choice for, pulling on white bass, but that's the only rod that looks good with this reel, and it looks really good. But yeah, if I have a choice, I can go even light power for fishing with white bass. But it is what it is. The other thing that we're testing today, because testing one thing is not enough, is the new baits from Leland Lures, ROO ROO or something. The thing is, when the package comes, there is no ROO on the package. At least I didn't see. It just says crappie magnet. But these lures, folks, are huge. These lures are bigger than the crappie magnet, and the crappie magnet was already too big for me. Have you seen me fish the crappie magnet? I know I can catch white bass and black bass, but I don't use the crappie magnet for anything panfish. No crappie, bluegill, trout, it's too big for me. And these are bigger yet. They're just big. My normal boxes don't even fit them. So I used the deep box that I didn't originally want to sell, but now I decided that we do need some deep boxes, so I'm gonna order some of those. The thin, the low profile boxes, the belly was getting compressed and I didn't want to do that. So on this lure here, this is the silver and purple color on a 1.5 number 8 BG1. It looks pretty good. But to give you an idea, the size 8 hook is not even close to getting out on the other side of the tail. It's like 5-6 millimeters short of reaching the two tails here. I'm gonna make a different video about scent. To tell you the truth, I don't think scent matters at all if you fish with a moving bait. But if you're vertical jigging, which is how crappie fishing is done in America I'm doing crappie fishing right now. Yeah, you go with live scope on top of the brush and you dip it, and then the fish comes, you see it on the screen, you lift the fish and you go home and you make a video how to catch 100 fish. This is crappie fishing in America now. So if the lure sits on one place and doesn't move, then scent is probably good. I think it's good even though I have no proof, but it's probably good. Let's cast from over here even without the live scope. I saw the whole bank is full of shadow or something. It doesn't mean it's white bass. This is the very first cast, and I have to say this spool is kind of big, 2000 size, and 2.3 pound line is kind of thick. I used to fish this rod with the Vanquish, which had 2.1 pound line and smaller spool, smaller coils, but more coils, you can say. But anyway, the very first cast, the line came off like a freaking nothing. This 1.5 number 8 just absolutely rocketed out of here like a catapult. But the white bass when you have such strong current, are all bunched up somewhere. If you find them, you can kill them. But so far I didn't find them. I found plenty of shad. Yeah, this casts the 1.5. I think the lure itself is very heavy. The actual lure is super heavy, I think. This casts like a freaking bullet. Yep, we caught something, but snagged. That was 100% snagged. I think we have to move, folks. The only thing I'm gonna catch here is some buffalo. These fish are not turning around. I can see this big thing. This lure is very easy to see on live scope. I can see it. Nobody is chasing it. Let's go check the other bank, maybe in between. Gotta find the white bass somewhere. What about this? There is some fish here on the bottom that don't look like shad. I'm trying to see something different. It's not like there is no fish on the screen, but it's these fish, I know them. They're suspended like 4 to 6 feet above the bottom. That is not white bass. I think I found white bass. Look at where they are. I think I found them. I think I found white bass, folks. Let's see. He took the ROO ROO. That's gotta be white bass. Let's hit spot lock here. Wow. Far away from, look at the current here. Let's see. Very deep here too. But if I reached it with the 1.5 number 8, I can definitely reach it with the, wow. The current is, look at what's going on here. I don't know if my trolling motor is confused or something. The current here is that fast? Maybe I can move over there and then... How am I gonna pull with the super ultra light white bass in this current? This is why I told you, if you catch only one, it's super cool experience. But if you're fishing for white bass all day, you don't want to spend 10 minutes per fish, right? If you're catching bluegill, 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 it's completely the same thing. It's all about perspective. The same thing can be super nice. Yeah, they're here in the very fast current. The new Luvias, for what is worth, folks, extremely smooth drag again. All of these reels, we don't have drag issues no more. Okay, let's take care of this bass first. Good white bass, the first one already good. I don't know if we can fish here with the 1.5 number 8. How did you penetrate? When you see them with the belly like this, look at the belly of this fish. By the way, my wife told me if I catch a really fat one, I can take home a few. Oof. My goodness me. Casting distance with the 1.5 PG1 and this ROO ROO. My goodness me. Why? Ah, that was a tap. I felt a tap on a slack. I'm getting some taps here. Okay, it's gonna be a mixed video. I cannot do only one bait, folks. We have to switch. Let's try the heavier lure. This is 2 gram tungsten with Zeman trout worm. Much smaller bait than the ROO ROO. I told you the trout worm was too big, but it's smaller compared to the ROO ROO. Wow, this is a heavier jig head, but the line is 3 pound. The line is much fatter. It actually casts not as far. That's crazy. 2-gram tungsten with 3-pound fluorocarbon does not cast, I felt it, does not cast as far as 1.5 gram lead. It sank though. It sinks faster though. Maybe doesn't cast as far, but it sinks faster. Yeah, there is some white bass here. We have to just trigger them. I am good at triggering, folks. Let me tell you, I know how to trigger fish, people. I am good at triggering, folks. If they are on the bottom and hiding, we're gonna find a way to trigger them. Yeah, the tungsten gets to the bottom easier. Oh my goodness, what a white bass. Let's go put him in the landing station. Put him in the ruler. If I get one like 14 3/4 like last time, I'm gonna take it home. Let's try my new landing station. Like this, zap zap. Wow, my landing station is amazing. Wow, that's a good one. Maybe we keep one because here in the fast water, no, this one is not quite. Let's measure. No, this is like 13 incher. I'm gonna wait for a 14 3/4. Bye bye, buddy. By the way, I put here, man, it looks nice. One thing about the tubular diplomat, folks, is pretty much every reel that I have, the old Luvias looks amazing also. And my gosh, is it smooth. And oh, I see some more. I think we can trigger some here. I think we can trigger them. And let me tell you, my Luvias, 2020 Luvias, is 4 years old now. The resistance after 4 years is finally acceptable. It's not a vanquish, don't get me wrong, but I don't need, you guys probably think that I need everything to be perfect or I cannot enjoy fishing. If the resistance is low enough not to bother me, that's all I want, to be low enough. I'm not unreasonable. I want the resistance to be low enough. And the old Luvias, after a few years, and it's not like right now it became finally on the 4th year good enough. I noticed this a while ago. I don't know, I think I even mentioned in some videos that after a couple of years of fishing, the resistance on the old Luvias is finally good enough not to bother me. And here is another one. They here, I lost it, but maybe he will come again. They get triggered like that. And on the bright side of all of this resistance, this reel, folks, 4 years old, is still smooth as butter. So like most things in life, now we're casting pretty good too. Maybe the line just, it needs a couple of casts to kind of get wet. In engineering, folks, it's rarely a case where your alternatives are such that one of the alternatives is just pure win-win. Everything is kind of some kind of a trade-off. Like you win something, but to get the thing that you win, you have to give up something that you like. You can't have them both. And the tractor grease, it's not all bad. For those of you who are not particularly sensitive to resistance, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're not that sensitive to a little bit of resistance, there is nothing wrong with buying these Luvias reels, because I do believe that the tractor grease in the mag seal will extend the life of the reel. It will definitely extend the smooth life of the reel. I mean, you can fish even without mag seal and grease for years, but it will feel like new 1 or 2 years longer. Let me cast on the deep side of the ledge. I've been casting on the top side of the ledge. Cast on the deep side, see if we can trigger somebody out of They get glued to the bottom in this strong current, glued to the bottom. Tap. I triggered him. Exactly, that was the plan. Interesting. They're on the inside and they glued to the bottom and they're hard to see. Man, white bass is such a riot, folks. Yeah, this old Luvias still feels like a $250 reel, folks. It probably feels more than a $250 reel than when I bought it. White bass, that's a good boy. That is a good boy. Let's go measure this boy. By the way, this might be one of the last videos with the tubular diplomat. I need to buy another rod. I need to buy 2 more rods that I see. So I kind of already connected with a gentleman who is interested in my tubular diplomat. So I'm gonna make a couple more fish videos with this rod, and oh, he ate it deep. And we'll probably ship it to him and buy something else for review. This year, 2024, not this year, last year. Now this gotta be a 15-inch white bass. No, only 14 and a half. I'm gonna keep this one anyway. 14 and a half, but he is huge, folks. I don't know, he looks huge to me. What is it, 22 feet deep here, and we have current. There is no time for lead to sink. 1.5 gram is not heavy enough to fish in 22 feet water with current, folks. We on the bottom. Man, right away, it doesn't take many twitches. Look, it's forward. Okay, maybe you can see the fish, but they're all the way on the bottom, not easy to see. They're not easy to see. But look at the rod is bending a lot more. Today I'm fishing with 3-pound line and the drag is a little bit tighter and the rod is bending a lot more now. It's bending in the first half also. So I said that in the review, but this rod is, if you fish with a little bit heavier line than me, you will get the first half to bend also. I just usually fish with these very thin ester lines, and I don't have the luxury of putting enough force to bend the first half of the rod. But today I'm fishing with 3-pound line. First of all, a lot thicker, and second one, this is fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon has stretch, so I can load the rod a lot more. By the way, let me tell you, usually I don't like fishing with fluorocarbon anymore because there is a significant loss of sensitivity compared to, oh man, they all gone. Look first where it's pointing straight up and they say all gone, but they're not all gone. They're still gonna be here. When you switch from ester back to fluorocarbon, usually I notice significant loss of sensitivity. There is a few white bass here on the ledge, folks, but they come and go and they're not very many. There has to be another ledge with more of them. I'm making a lot of casts between bites here. There has to be a better spot. Maybe we need to abandon this and oh, chap! I felt it. Yeah, buddy. It feels so good, folks. Yeah, the fluorocarbon adds a little bit of stretch. I don't mind fighting fish with fluorocarbon. It's just not as easy to cast and not as sensitive, but fighting the fish is good actually. We'll probably take just 2 white bass. The second one better be close to 15 inches. A smaller feller. Why are they so milky? Let's cast on the deep side again. The bite is not very good, folks. I feel there is much faster bite just a few minutes from here. I don't know if I should go north or on the other bank, but there's gotta be better bite than this. Right under the boat. Right under the boat. Yeah. I'm loading this rod a lot better today. Tubular diplomat, folks. They should have made it tubular from the get-go. Now, if they listen to me, you should make even with the exact same blank, with the exact same first half. You should make even harder tip. Make it light power, but make it light power without making the first half thicker. If you keep the first half the same, but make the top half even firmer, even harder, that would be an amazing drop shot and all kinds of. That would be an amazing rod. It would be a lot more parabolic than now. That would be an amazing rod. You know, folks, I'm catching fish every 10 minutes or so, which is not too bad. There is one more. But I think I want to move. Maybe not move, I don't know. Hey, get away from the trolling motor. There on the bottom. I lost this one. Oh, look, the hook opened. This is the Daiwa Tungsten. Daiwa has a stainless steel hook now. It's not the black hook anymore. You know, that's funny. I tightened the drag because I have stronger line, but the jig heads are not strong enough to hold a fish. So at the end of the day, you have to play the fish no matter what. That's definitely the case if you fish with the BG1 jigs. Braid is not going to help you. If you use my jigs, you have to play the fish or something is going to give. I'm here to tell you that you have to play the fish. Not just with the BG1s. All of these Daiwa jig heads, they're 0.48 millimeter diameter. You're not going to yank a fish with 0.48 millimeter. You're lucky if, let's say, you catch a big fish and the hook is kind of opened, but it still has enough hold so you can land the fish and bend it back. But with these ultralight jig heads, you have to play the fish, and to tell you the truth, there is nothing wrong with playing the fish. What's wrong with playing the fish? Why do you have to yank everything out of the water? What's wrong with this? This guy is pulling, man. This guy is pulling. Yeah, this will be a tubular diplomat video. We're gonna have to find shallower fish to fish with the super ultra light and the BG1s. This guy very lively. Man, that's another slab, folks. That's another slab. See, today I brought the big net. This is my drum net. I brought the big net today, and there will be no drum today. Mark my words. If you come with the drum net, you ain't catching no drum. That's perfectly hooked. Just perforate it in the lips like one of those purple-haired Democrats. These fish are juicy, folks. That is a good year for white bass. What? Again, same thing. I started reeling. Whoa, what is this? I just started reeling, folks. The jig went behind me. I gave up on the cast, started reeling. With white bass, this is something that happens very often. When you start reeling faster, that actually triggers them. Another slab, folks. That is a slab white bass. Don't believe me? That's a 13-inch easy. Let me show you. I don't know if the hook grabs right here in the bone or something. It's very difficult to remove. Now, if it was a stronger wire, you can push it down, but this wire cannot be pushed down because it just bends into a circle. It becomes a circle hook. Okay, it came out. Let's see. 13 and I'm not gonna say and a half, but easily 13 and a quarter. Again, maybe they are right under the trolling motor. I showed you they don't show, but when the jig comes and you twitch it, they jump out of the bottom. Maybe they're using my boat for shade. They're attracted by the trolling motor. I do believe they are attracted by the trolling motor, by the way. If you stay in the current in one place for a long time, they just come. They need to check it out. That's another slab, folks. Okay, this one is barely touching 13, but still 13. Man, perfectly clean. Can I catch a fish now? Or maybe there is a fish. Look, a fish came. Did you see? I caught this one on camera. I've never done this, but did you see how the bank was clean with no fish? Did you see that? There was no fish on the screen, but when I came under the boat, I just twitched and something came from the bottom, folks. Something came from the bottom. They're glued to the bottom and invisible to live scope. And these are good fish. These are not baby 9-inch white bass like the ones inside the lock. Perforated just perfectly. Zeman trout worms. I gotta tell you, I like Leland Lures more than Zeman as a company, but for me, the Zeman trout worms is a better lure than the ROO ROO Schmuru, just because the trout worms being conical makes the size not an issue. Yeah, it's 2-inch long, but because it's conical, you can always trim it exactly where you want, so the diameter of the lure fits flush with your jig head. Yeah, they're here again. When I twitch, they come out of the woodwork. Got him again. They're under the boat now, sitting on the bottom. I think my trolling motor, I'm not kidding. This Garmin is very appealing to white bass. Because why are they right under the boat? Over there I cannot catch them. I cast there, but until the jigs come under the boat, I don't get no fish. Let's see if we keep this one. This one will be 14. 13 and 3/4. Man, I expected more than you. I expected clear 14 inches out of this bad boy. Look at the body, very tall. Usually, schooling white bass is just not big. Here's another one. Now this is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Why didn't I take the kids? Oh, I said it's too cold. Why you can just drop and catch them all day? Why would you fish for white bass with bass gear? That's like having some incredible natural resource and like lithium or gold mine, and instead of digging the gold out of the gold mine, you dig a big hole and make it a landfill. That's how I feel fishing for white bass with the black bass gear. They just winch them up and they grab them and throw them. I'm gonna let him go. But yeah, folks, you know, fishing for white bass with the bass gear and telling me you're having fun, I'm sure you're having fun, but you're wasting 90% of the fun. You're just wasting it. Okay, this is not my hook. Look at the cuts. There is no hook. The hook broke from bending it too many times. Should I tie a 2-gram ROO ROO? Okay, let's try a 2-gram ROO ROO. That's another Daiwa jig head. 2 gram. Now that is a beautiful color ROO ROO, folks. That's with the gold hook. Gold hooks, they don't snap, they don't break, but they bend more than the stainless steel and the black hooks. And a lot of you prefer that, but I don't, because bending at the exact point of time you're setting the hook and trying to penetrate. I don't know if you can imagine this, but if the hook bends right when you're trying to penetrate, you are reducing the penetrating force. Okay, now let's put something in the, I don't want to say this what kind of hole it is, but you know what kind of hole it really is. Let me put one of the orange one. I got 2 colors, orange and silver. Oh, wait, this one kind of went in. The first one didn't. Maybe that was a lure with smaller belly. But this one, everything went in, folks. There's a few very far and kind of shallow. Wow. Yeah, this thing casts better than the Zeman trout worm. It flies. It flied even with my other, with the BG one, with the lead. Somehow it flies. I gotta put them on the scale. I have the feeling this lure is very heavy and it's very dense, and just for some reason, even with the belly, it flies. It flies very well, even with the belly. Here is the first customer on the ROO ROO. Go ROO ROO! Let's see how he ate it. Did he swallow? Or we got him lip perforated? Go ROO ROO, go! Go ROO ROO! Is this a larger fish? Come on, that's a white bass, and there's nothing else. It's too small to be a drum. If it's a drum, it's like a 13-incher. If that's a white bass, I'm afraid to tighten the drag. I don't want to force this gold hook now. I don't want to force it. Oh my goodness, folks. Oh my goodness. ROO ROO got the 15-inch white bass. You go, ROO ROO. You go, ROO ROO. That's a big boy, folks. That is a big boy. Wow, first cast with the ROO ROO. And it's a not deep hook. You can see the ROO ROO out of the mouth. You can see the ROO ROO, right? Come here. Come here, ROO ROO. What a slab, folks. What a slab on the ROO ROO. You go, ROO ROO. Oh my goodness. It looks like a crappie. It looks like a 3-pound crappie, this fish. Oh my goodness. ROO ROO. ROO ROO. Oh my goodness, folks. This is gonna be 15, 16, 17. I don't know. This ain't no. This is gonna be more than 15, folks. This is a beast here. You go, ROO ROO. ROO ROO. What is this? What is this? This fish is over 1 pound. What? Don't move now. Take it easy. What a freaking tank. This is 16-inch, over 16-inch white bass. You go, ROO ROO. We're gonna take this one to Mama Eyefish. That is the fish you wanna take home. It has plenty of meat. Everybody enjoys the looks of such a big fish. And you are not harming Tennessee River, trust you me, by harvesting a couple of white bass. You ain't harming nothing, folks. There is no shortage of white bass. And there's a good amount of 13 and 14 inchers. You go, ROO ROO. There is finally second fish, folks. It took a long time to get another bite on the ROO ROO, folks. I don't know if it's the ROO ROO fault or they increased the current. You're always going to be wondering if this lure is too big for this fish. I don't think it is. Not for white bass. White bass will hit huge lures. They're crazy like that. But you're just wondering. I felt it on slack. I felt this guy on the slack. Temp. Man, this rod is amazing. Temp. It looks exactly like a male bluegill. The first one huge. The second two, tell you the truth, below average. Try to find a little bit slower water. It's even difficult to fish. I'm casting so far out. By the time it sinks, it's under the boat. Ideally, you would want to drag it. But look, it hasn't even sunk yet, it's under the boat. Tap? Okay, we got one. Alright, folks, if I land this fish, I'm gonna end the video because first of all, we caught enough fish out of here. I feel we can do better than this. And how many fish should we catch from the same spot with the same rod and reel? I'll probably fish with the same rod and reel on the other spot too, though. The ROO ROO is outside of the mouth. Look at the orange color is outside of the mouth, which tells me even white bass are careful and they're hitting it to kill it first, and only after the kill, if they don't feel nothing weird, they would eat it later. They are not swallowing it deep like the Zeman trout worm. And I don't think it's a matter of profile or color. I just think it's kind of big, folks. The ROO ROO is kind of big. Look how they barely hitting it. The hook is almost, look, the whole lure is outside. We're gonna find another spot and we're gonna catch some more with the ROO ROO. We're gonna fish the ROO ROO all winter. Maybe I will sell a few packs. I bought like, I don't know, 15 packs. I don't need 15. Maybe I'll sell some of them. But yeah, that's enough fish for this one. Let's take one last look here with this just gorgeous looking rig. No, not the middle of the lake. Let's get a good thumbnail here. Yeah, beautiful. All right, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you very soon, probably in 10 minutes. See you soon. Bye bye.